What's up, everybody? Corey Van Castle Cook here, also known as the Bearded Cinephile, on one half of Movie Chumps, and I just got out of the latest Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. As many of you know, back in 10 years ago, in the teens, as they say, we had that great classic Planet of the Apes trilogy with Rise, Dawn, and War, the latter two being directed by Matt Reeves, and to me, some of the most excellent science fiction of the last decade. So this one is directed by Wes Ball and picks up several generations afterwards, probably several hundred years later, and basically is in the results of what's been happening since Caesar actually died. And so some of the highlights of the thing that's of this movie that's great, visually, it's spectacular. It's, if anything, the apes look even better than they did before. I don't understand some of the people saying that the CGI in this movie looks a little dodgy. Not sure why that's being said. Kevin Durant as Proxima Caesar is absolutely excellent. He makes for a great villain. He's not on the Koba level of that we've seen before, but he's very, very good. Owen Teague makes for a great main character who is Noah. Some people are going to try to label him as Caesar 2.0, and that's not him at all. He's basically this leader of this bird clan type of situation, and what happens to his clan and how he gets involved. It becomes a very prominent and specific part of this movie. The downfall of this is that this movie is too long. It's probably about 15 to 20 minutes too long at this point. It's not as tight script-wise and movie-wise as the previous Apes films, and the pacing is not always that great. It's a little glacial sometimes. There's times that I thought it was slow, but it's a much more contemplative, methodical Planet of the Apes movie than previous Apes. So if you go in here expecting like War, or you're expecting Dawn, or even Rise, you're going to be disappointed in this situation. That's not to say that there's bad action in this. There's some excellent action pieces, especially at the beginning, and there's a great third act I thought was fantastic. And I really like, again, just like many of the Apes films have done over the last, especially with this last trilogy, is the fact that, there's some themes here but they don't beat you over the head with it. The situation here is much more about religion based, and how Caesar's message has become corrupted and polluted and weaponized, specifically by Proxima Caesar. And it's very much a parallel to, I think, how religion in our own world can get weaponized and distorted. As someone who's a Christian himself and has to see some of the delusional evangelical gymnastics that people do in the name, quote unquote, in the name of Christ, when they couldn't be further from the truth of Christ's teachings, it resonated with me quite a bit. This movie ends on an interesting note, definitely harbors for future films. And I'm definitely interested to see where it goes. I'm not sure if I want Wes Ball back as a director. It might be time to hand off to somebody else, give somebody else a shot in this case. But overall, it's an enjoyable film. I just thought that the pacing sometimes was too slow. This movie's a little bit too long, so things could have been definitely tighter. If you're looking for a grade on this one, one more before I say it. Frey Allen is good in this. She's from Witcher fame. She plays the same, plays the main human in this situation. And also William H. Macy has a little bit of a part as well, but she's the main one. I would say that, she's good in it. She's not great. The biggest complaint I think I had with her situation, I've seen other people mention it before, is, and this is sound weird, but sometimes she doesn't seem dirty enough, and not in that way. She doesn't seem dirty enough physically in the sense that sometimes she looks like she's ready to go to the Met Gala, rather than that she's in a post-apocalyptic, apes-ridden world in that case. But other than that, her performance is pretty solid. So if you're looking for me to give an overall grade to this one, I'd probably give it about a 7 out of 10. It's just not as good as the other Apes movies, but it's still very enjoyable. I think I might have to see it again to get a little bit more of a perspective in this situation, but I'm glad it exists. I'm glad it did well at the box office. I think it's going to have good word of mouth. I think it's going to do good at the box office again this weekend, and I'm fairly confident that we're going to get more Apes films coming down the line, which I'm looking forward to. And I think if they can improve upon this one, there's a lot of great directions that this can go in. Okay, that's it for now. I'm Corey Van Castle Cook, also known as the Bearded Cinephile, on one half of Movie Chumps, and I'll see everybody next time.